Watch for the signal at the back, and when those red lights go out, we go racing. We're underway. What a launch by Randy Popes, and at the same time, a tough start by Ron Fellows in that yellow CRP Krager Wheels Corvette. But Randy Popes, that all-wheel drive Volvo, they struggled with starts in the past. I think they got it solved.
Patrick Lindsay slides into second place, taking advantage of that tough start by Ron Fellows. Something very, very wrong there with Ron Fellows' car. Rest of the field clean through turn number 1, and that's the key here. We always worry that we're going to have a big collection of cars down into the 90.
Look at this move here. There is Eric Meyer in that Zowie Mazda. He is under huge pressure, and Stout, what a start. He went from 4th on the grid in that class. Fellows down underneath Kuno Whitmer, all over the back of Jason Daskalos as they get into the final turn. Lap 1 in the books onto the front straight, but you can see the margin up front for Randy Popes. But Fellows, just that fast, pulls to the inside. Boy, did he get a run onto that straight. Meanwhile, Robert Stout in the touring car class continues to lead. The young rookie having an absolutely marvelous season. Take a look at this battle right now for 3rd in the touring car division. That's Don Gardner in the 2nd of those TC Science from DG Spec. Meanwhile, let's move up into the GT order and watch this battle as Ron Fellows, even though he quickly caught young Pat Lindsay, he has not been able to find a way past right now. Fellows, though, again, a tremendous run out of the toe of the boot, and now up to the inside. See if he can make it stick deep on the brakes down into the heel. He is through, and Pat Lindsay, pretty savvy racer, went, nah, I can't contest that one, just live to fight here. Welcome back, everybody. The Grand Prix of Watkins Glen presented by Sunoco. Fellows closing in on Popes, but while we were in break, a huge development, Tom, in the touring car division. Pole sitter Eric Meyer, it all went wrong.
Well, this is one of the things that happens at Watkins Glen. If you apex too early in turn number 9, you're going to run into road at the exit, and he absolutely knew he had nowhere else to go and very nearly got collected by the rest of the field. A good bit of recovery by Eric Meyer, but you can see he didn't try to turn out of it. That would have just exacerbated the problem, and Greg, he almost high-sided that baby as that Armco Barrio spit him out there. Now, there's Brett Sandberg's point of view. As you can see, just a little left hand down, and he missed Meyer, but not by that much. A disappointing conclusion to Eric Meyer's pole-sitting start.
Oh, unfortunate indeed. Meanwhile, this battle in the GT and overall class is definitely hotting up. Ron Fellows now within a couple of car lengths of Randy Popes down into the laces of the boot. Fellows looks to the inside again. And he's going to tuck right back in, heading down into this turn. Now he makes a move down to the inside. Randy turns in. Fellows says, no, but Randy gets sideways. Boy, you don't see Randy Popes take bait very often on. He just suddenly, that car just skipped out on him.
You know, Randy Popes, so patient, so calm, but just at the limit of adhesion, let it get away on him a little bit, and he did a good job to save that, as opposed to going off into a spin. No contact between the two, just use those Toyo tires 1/2% more than they were intended to be used. Let's go to Robert Stout now, your leader in the touring car class. He seems to have it his own way, and that, of course, that big development with Eric Meyer. Now Don Gardner starting to form up behind him. Victor Luvov not too far in arrears.
And by the way, problems for Andy Pilgrim. Let's check in with Dax Robb.
He said something feels like it's coming loose, making the car steer a little bit, so he's coming in. Don't want to crash it.
Let's take a look at our class leaders in the 3 divisions, top 3 in each. And you see Ron Fellows continues to lead overall, Cunningham in GTS, and there's Stout in touring car. We are back, round 6 of the championship, the World Challenge Grand Prix of Watkins Glen, presented by Sunoco, and good battle right here. James Sofronis, that blue number 14 Global Motorsports Group Porsche, is right in front of Pat Lindsay, who started 3rd. Sofronis has moved up. Lindsay's fallen back just a little bit in that Horton and Sloan Securities Porsche 911. This is a very good scrap indeed, and you can see not far behind them is Tony Gaples, and they are coming up on lap traffic as well. Shea Holbrook, oh, and what a move. They literally just did the fan out, and you saw Lindsay go to the inside and Sofronis the outside, but still Sofronis able to stay put and hang on to that lead. There you see Sofronis still leading Lindsay, and behind them is last year's winner. That is Dino Crescentini. Oh, and Lindsay way wide. You can see that car just skated a little bit and looked like he was just trying to carry Sofronis' pace into the turn, and as a result, now he's got Gaples and Crescentini coming up. Here's our game streamer replay.
Well, you can see Patrick Lindsay has just used up all of the grip that he had available to him. A good move into the bus stop, but as he put his left hand down to try to get out of there, just used up the grip and slid a little wide. You know, it's amazing that Lindsay able to hang on to this.
Did not even lose a position. Nice piece of driving to make that save. Here is our leaderboard, the top 4. We've got 5 to go.
This is Dino Crescentini while we were on break. Drives down the inside. That's the classic pass in the bus stop. Get it done under braking, and Gaples gave him the room to do it. He saw him coming and knew there's nothing he could do about it, Greg.
I'll tell you what, Dino Crescentini, stop tech brakes. It's a beautiful thing. And in the back, there was a pass unfolding for second in touring cars. There's Robert Stout. He continues to lead. But yes, Luvov able to sneak by underneath the teammate. Don Gardner pushed back to third and preventing that DG Spec team, at least for the time being, from a 1-2. Boy, what a move. And Ron Fellows up front continuing to stretch that margin. Just putting a lap on the 67 of Shea Holbrook. That is the Auto House MD&F. I love that. Mom, Dad, and Friends is a sponsorship there. She's also racing, by the way, for Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy as a fundraiser. Wanted to get that in.
She's got a whole lot of people here, and they're all sitting on the grandstands watching her have the race of her life here at Watkins Glen.
And look at this. Still hasn't changed. Even though Lindsay had that little bit of a bobble, he's right back on the backside of Sofronis. There's Crescentini, the defending race winner, Sofronis' teammate behind Lindsay. Looking to the inside. Sofronis defending. As they head down into turn 1, boy, I'll tell you what, that was a clean defense. No blocking. You get that one move, and he just tightened up the entry, shallowed it up, if you will. Lindsay had to wait.
And Pat Lindsay has come to the sport a little late in his life. Not one of these guys who race karts. Just got started a few years ago, and you can tell he's got a gift.
Oh, and Sofronis loses it. He must have been maybe driving in his mirrors, and it looked like he just missed the turn-in, stayed out a little wide, and the back end of that Porsche swung around. And both Lindsay and Crescentini goes through. Check out the Game Streamer replay from the onboard.
Grabs a couple of gears, starts to steer down into the right-hander, and you see Lindsay go flying by. Crescentini goes flying by. At the end of that, that's a pretty darn good catch by James Sofronis.
It is. I wonder if maybe he went down one gear too many and locked the rears up on the car. There is James Sofronis, who is now trying to recover, trying to salvage that position, if you will. Oh, and he's got a pieces come up the back of the car. Let's see, and there's Charles Morgan behind him. That's one of the true speed entries, and this is about where that piece is. Oh, he clips it. Boy, he just was unsighted, and that is the other Morgan that goes right over the top of it.
That is not good. A piece of exhaust pipe collected up by 2 different Porsches, and this could be trouble for that Morgan car.
Meanwhile, the action continues. Luvov into the grass as he and Gardner absolutely door to door and maybe bodywork to bodywork in that exchange. Fellows coming up behind them as he's going to get the checker, and if he does not get by them before they get to the start-finish line, those two will live to fight another lap, and they are in an absolute war right now.
Did I mention international incident?
Exactly.
Now we're
Here
going
we
to have to
go.
get the diplomats involved.
Front straight, Fellows. He's going to stay behind them. Checkers are out, but Gardner and Luvov at war for another lap. Ron Fellows, this was a race he wanted bad. He made it clear in his deal. I want to race Glen so I can run the long course. Boy, did it pay off.
Well, there's a lot of Corvette Club members here who are absolutely thrilled. You look at this battle for the touring cars just ahead of Ron Fellows. Those guys hammering on each other. Still, Don Gardner hanging on. This is what touring cars all about, baby.
This is for second in class. That's the third bit of contact in this exchange. Luvov keeps it out of the tires, but 2 big hits over in the bus stop, side by each. And as it turns out, Gardner gets the better of that exchange. Meanwhile, here comes P.D. Cunningham onto the front straight. Checkered flag flies. His 35th career win. It extends his all-time record in World Challenge competition with that GTS class win. And behind him, your touring car winner, Robert Stout. Well, what a great story this young man continues to weave as the season unfolds. His 3rd win, extending his point lead. There's the fist bump in the car. Certainly well-deserved, Tom.